Lomachenko versus Shane Mosley.
Oh, I'd have to go with Shane Mosley in that one. Shane Mosley at 135 pounds was in his prime was very hard to beat. Not only his hand speed, but his punching power. I think he would have neutralized Vasily's movement, even though Vasily would give him a tough fight. But Shane Mosley would win a decision.
Canelo Alvarez versus Winky Wright.
Canelo Alvarez would beat Winky Wright in a decision also, but it would be a very, very ugly, difficult fight. Winky had a way of making guys look not only amateurish, but very like they're miserable in there. And he could punch a little bit. So, but I still think Canelo's skills would have won a decision.
Felix Trinidad versus Errol Spence.
Felix Trinidad was a very, very good fighter, a big man. Felix would have beat Errol. I think that he would have been too big and too strong for him. It would have been a great fight though, but I think Felix would stop Errol sometime in between the 9th and 11th round.
Gerald McClellan versus Sergio Martinez.
Gerald McClellan going away. Gerald McClellan was just a student of boxing that was so talented that he was not talented. He was so talented that he did things that he left things out of his fight sometimes that I wondered why. He would just be too physical and too talented for Sergio.
Paul Williams versus Terence Crawford.
Paul Williams because of his size. Terence is a heck of a 140-pounder. He's one of my favorite fighters today. At 147, he's going to have difficult with some of the more elite guys. Paul Williams was an exception, not only for 47, 54, and 60. I think his size and his height would have been, Terence wouldn't have enough power to do what Sergio did to him, and Paul would win an easy decision.
Antonio Margarito versus Donald Curry.
Donald Curry. Donald Curry would beat Antonio Margarito just on skills. Antonio was not necessarily the most gifted, but he was a tough guy. Took a lot of punishment, and Donald's left hook was a thing of beauty.
Azuma Nelson versus Mikey Garcia.
At 126 pounds, I would have to take Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is an exceptional fighter at those weights, 126, 130. Azuma Nelson was obviously called the professor for a reason. An exceptional fighter also, but I think Mikey would have a little more in the IQ, ring IQ at 126.
Michael Katsidis versus Acelino Freitas.
Wow, tough fight. I think that Michael Katsidis would win. He would go down at least once, but Michael, being a warrior that he was, I think would catch the oncoming Freitas, because Freitas' chin may not have been the best. I think Katsidis proved that he was not only a strong chin, but he was a warrior, and he would be there for 12 rounds.
Kelly Pavlik versus Michael Nunn.
Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn, when Joe Goostin had him, right around at the time he knocked out Kalambai, I think was probably for me, one of my favorite fighters to watch. He was the Joe Calzaghe of that era. The difference was that he could crack a little bit. And Michael Nunn, in his prime, was a heck of a fighter. I think he would knock out Kelly Pavlik.
Jeff FENECH versus Naoya Inoue.
I don't think we've seen enough of the Japanese young man, Inoue, to really put him up there with the elite guys. He's knocked out some guys. He's done very well so far, but I think he needs more maturing. I think Jeff FENECH in his prime would have been a little too much for him right now, even though this kid can punch. But he's knocked out guys that haven't been in the kind of fights that Jeff was.